Okay, everyone talks about 1984 today, and they say it's literally 1984. But the funniest part to me is Orwell would despise the way that most people read 1984. And Orwell wrote 1984 as a warning, and he also said at one point in his life, "Don't let it happen." And this is a haunting phrase, and this is a phrase that I think gets misinterpreted by pretty much everybody. And let me explain that to you today. Briefly, I want to go over what 1984 is for people that haven't read it and why it's an important book to read. But overall, the purpose of this video is to talk about what Orwell was getting, what Orwell was saying with this book. And to summarize 1984 very quickly, it's a book where basically the government controls everything. They control freedom of speech. They control everything when it comes to people's lives. They monitor them at all times. Doesn't this sound familiar? And there's all of these things that basically correct people and make people act a certain way, and most people don't even question it because they're so wrapped up in the programming, so wrapped up in the fear mongering and all of these things and all of the statistics that show that the government is doing good for them, that all of these things are for the greater good. And there is one man who decides to believe differently. There is one man who decides to get a journal and write down with Big Brother. And because of this, it springs on a course of events that eventually gets him caught, that eventually gets him, sought out by the party, and all of these things ensue. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil the ending. I've talked about the ending in another video, why it's significant, but let's talk right now about what Orwell was saying. Orwell urged people to say, don't let this happen. That's the entire point of 1984. Don't allow a government to take all of your rights. Don't allow an authoritarian state to rise, because the truth is, authoritarian states always rise out of something. They always start off small, and then they take more and more and more and more. And this is the natural course of a government. This is the natural course of unchecked politicians, of unchecked powers. And that's really all Orwell's trying to say. Don't allow the politicians to distract you. Don't allow the politicians to say, we're going to do this because it's for the good of everyone, but it takes away this right, it takes away this right. It's basically saying, don't give up your freedoms for the sake of comfort. Ben Franklin said, those who give up their freedom for comfort deserve neither. And that's exactly what Orwell is trying to get at. Orwell is trying to say, don't have allegiances. Don't trust a government. Don't allow something to be blindly followed. If you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, it does not matter. Allow them to earn your vote each time. Don't blindly follow. Don't blindly go in lockstep with what the party is saying. Don't blindly say, yeah, but the other side's doing this. The other side's doing this. The most ironic part about 1984 is the same people that voted for George Bush are the same people that saying there's this grand government conspiracy that is trying to take over everything. It's like, you voted for the guy that put the Patriot Act in. It's crazy to me to see these things. It's crazy to me to see how both sides of the aisle are reading 1984 and pointing the finger at the other side. And it's like, no, you're part of the problem. You're part of the issue. The fact that everything is partisan, the fact that there is no such thing as a reasonable person, the fact that there is no such thing as a reasonable conversation between two people with different political views is the exact thing that Orwell is warning against. It's the tribalism. It's the inability to see beyond yourself. It's the inability to see the bigger picture. It's getting tricked time and time again. It's allowing a politician to point the finger at the other person and say, we must stop them. Stop them from what? They're people too. Maybe they have the wrong opinion. Maybe they believe the wrong thing. That doesn't mean they're evil. That doesn't mean they're wrong. And it's so ironic that this is really the way that it's being interpreted, that this side's doing this, that this side's doing this. Orwell wanted you to be understanding that every side is going to try to consolidate power. That is the natural nature of governments, and what the people must do is ensure this doesn't happen. What the people must do is vote. They must ensure that they are not being taken advantage of. And it's so funny to me that this just flies over most people's heads. It's so funny to me that people say, well, it's not my party that's the problem, it's the other party. It's like, no. Every organization, every societal group is going to try to consolidate power. Don't be part of it. Don't allow it to happen. Don't blindly follow anything, because if you blindly follow anything, then you become a slave to that ideology. Then you become a ward of the state. Then you become something that is being able to be controlled this way, being able to be controlled this way. You cease to become an individual, and when you can't become an individual, you can't stop the atrocities that have happened to this world. I really urge you to pick up this book. I really urge you to read it, and keep what I said in mind. Keep the nonpartisan in mind. Keep the idea that every person is trying to get me to do something, but let me just evaluate if it's the right thing. Let me evaluate the circumstance. Let me evaluate if this is going to be good in the long term. Let me evaluate if a little bit of comfort today is worth a lifetime of slavery in the future. And that's literally what Orwell is talking about. Don't give up your rights. Don't give up freedom of speech. Don't give up anything that prevents you from being a human being, because even if it looks good in the short term, it's not going to be good in the long term. I love you guys so much. Peace out. I'll catch you in the next one.